Stream close-up.
There you go.
Stream close-up. Venom INC, this is the Demolition Man from Venom INC.
My name's Abaddon from Venom INC.
Mantis is just in the little boys room for the minute, but he'll join us in a sec, I will.
Alright, well let's start it. So I know as far as some of the interviews that I've looked at, you, as far as the Venom group that started in the early 80s, it's split up.
Yes.
So
yeah.
My first question is, what are some techniques that you have to create music that has changed from being in the early Venom to now?
Well, good question.
Yeah, very good.
Personally, I play drums in the band, and personally I don't spend much time looking at what other drummers do. I don't spend much time looking at different techniques and this kind of thing. I like to just sit down and bring to the band every night, and the same when we're recording, bring that day's feelings and that day's anger into the studio and on stage, and that's it. I don't warm up, I don't do rudiments, I don't do anything. I do like to look at new technologies and that kind of thing, and I think that's worthwhile, especially with percussion and drumming and that kind of thing. But it's I'm still 1,000 years behind some of the stuff that's out there now.
Right.
It's just about being part of the whole. I don't see myself as the drummer in the band. I see myself as part of the engine that drives the band, and that's all that is.
Right.
And I think there's a maturity, obviously, at our age now from when we were 20-somethings. All of us, because we all played, even though I wasn't in the original conception, we all played back then, and you mature with your style matures, and but I think the magic of Venom and what the magic of this band is that's the personality. You can have a very technical drummer or a very non-technical drummer, and anybody who can drum could maybe play a song, but would it be that song and would it sound like that? And it becomes about personality. It doesn't matter how many flurries you do on the bass or the technique or the guitar. It's this is Mantis here. Come sit down, Jeff. His sound is the sound, his style is the style, his playing is the playing, and that's because it's an extension of who they are.
That's what makes the band sound the way it does. The band's always been whether you like them or you hate them, the band's always been a band that you recognise instantly from even people who are maybe not that well versed in sort of old school metal. People recognise Venom pretty much straight away, and that's just something that we do naturally.
So how'd you guys come up with Iron and Steel?
Iron and Steel was attributed to the Legions. It's from a song called Die Hard. It's one of the lyrics, the chorus. And we consider our Legions, our followers, to be die-hard followers, and we consider them to be Iron and Steel. That's exactly where that comes from.
Made of iron and steel. And initially the concept was to have that as our moniker, to go out being called the Iron and Steel, so that people wouldn't think we were trying to retread something or dig up something that was old and just try and capitalise on it, because that's not what we were doing. But very quickly people needed us to be called Venom INC or Venom something. And the reason I picked Incorporated is because Abaddon had albums and does projects on the side, and Mantis does the same, and I do the same, and it was like, how do we incorporate it all together if we do the Venom thing? And so Venom Incorporated means that we come together as this, and we also have everything else, so it's about not limiting ourselves, but everybody wanted us to play classic songs, everybody wanted us to go out as that, so they basically called it. Again, we kept tagging Iron and Steel on everything, and then it just got further down until it dropped off, and then some choose to lose the ink and some leave the ink on, and it's fan driven. The band was always about the fans. The music is the fans' music after 30 years, and they tell us what they want to hear us play live, and we play it live. you know. And,
you've got two of the original members of the band, two guys who have been essentially put the band together, and then you've got another guy who joined and was in the band for over 10 years. We've got a good right to use the word Venom, and if the crowd are shouting Venom, if the crowd don't shout Venom INC, they don't shout Iron and Steel, they shout Venom, and we are who we are for the fans and for the people who come to see us. So.
Would you say that there's any tension between the two bands?
No. Or yes.
It depends on which side of that.
Even from our side.
From our side.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you know,
we like to think that there are two different bands, and people who like this very specific form of music can go see both bands.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that, you know, quite often you may like a version of a band like, I don't know, Motorhead or Led Zeppelin or whatever, and you know, some guys in the band's passed away or has left or something, and you get a watered down version of things, or a watered down version of some band or another. With Venom, you can still see all the guys, just go see him at one gig, come see us at another.
Huh.
It's great.
And that was also quite the meaning, you know. It's not like Jeff Tate's not talking to the guitarist came up with the name, and Jeff Tate is synonymous, so they both go out and scream like and they're fighting each other. It's not like that with that. It's like there was a moment in time where the original singer kind of denounced the other two who founded the band and wanted to be a single entity. The fans wanted to see the original three together, and it quickly wasn't going to happen. And so, but my participation and them, I fought for the fans of the music. Nobody has the right to tell you who you can see and who you can't see. Nobody has that right. So the fans wanted to see these guys on stage playing, and now they can see them on stage playing those classic songs. And I give my honest interpretation. I do it in the spirit that I felt it when I first heard the stuff, and I play the songs respectfully. You know, I'm not filling in anybody's place. I'm delivering the songs how I heard them, with all that bite and all that true, honest feeling. But I think it's a win-win for fans, because we just started this tour 2 nights in New York. A week before that, Kronos played at Maryland Death Fest. So you got to see Kronos, and then you can come to New York and you can see Madness and Abaddon. Not on the same stage at the same time, but that's politics, isn't it? But you can still see them, you can still hear them play those songs. I think that's a win-win. More is better, isn't it? You know, I don't know what you like to drink or smoke or what you want to do. You came with skateboards. Imagine you had 50 skateboards. Is that better than one skateboard? Probably. You know, 50 set of wheels, is that better than just a set of wheels?
Yeah.
Probably. Some more is better. So I think it's a bountiful time. You know, you can hear, you know, with Venom, the legacy goes from 79 to now. And it doesn't matter how old you are, when you find Venom, at any point you find Venom, you have all that before and all that after. It's like a gold pot. And if you dig one album, you're going to dig something else along the way, and that's rare. So it doesn't matter when you find the band or how you hear the band, you can enjoy aspects of it, all of it, some of it, and that's fine. That's as long as you have it, because a world without Venom is not the world we need to be in. We need that voice, we need that anti-establishment, we need that finger in their fucking face, you know, and that's what we're about, to that kind of honesty, you know.
So from not a band perspective, do you guys consider yourselves with Kronos good friends on a personal note? Absolutely not.
No way. I've got absolutely. And this has developed over the last few years as well. In 2005, I received an email from Kronos. It was regarding the license that was coming back on one of our albums. At that point, my mother was seriously ill. She was essentially dying.
Sorry.
So I said, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what happens with this album. Whatever. He then called me, and during the course of the conversation, he asked if I was okay with him continuing the name Venom. At that point, my head wasn't into music, everything was firmly on family, and I said, I don't care. I don't care what happens. In hindsight now, if my head had been in the right place, I would have said no. If he had asked Abaddon would have definitely said no. Since that point in time, he has tried to eradicate the entire history of Venom to what he's doing now. we've had some vile and some vicious attacks and name calling in the press, schoolyard, childish things. And when this came together, I made the decision, and then I think the rest of the guys followed suit. So any thoughts of any friendship or any reunion with that guy, non-existent. He's burnt every single fucking bridge that he's got with me. Every single one.
So, what inspired you guys to portray a role as a band that most takes the side of Satanism? Because I know I was reading a few interviews and a few articles, and it started off as a joke, right? And what made you guys start it off with that kind of humor?
I mean, in the early days, we just looked at the bands that came before us and the bands that influenced us, and we wanted to take it so many stages further. And you know, the satanic side of it, yeah, we thought, okay, then if we're going to do it, we're just going to stuff it in people's faces and see what happens. If they run away screaming, then great. If they dig it, great. We really didn't fucking care at that point. But then you look at what's happening further down the line, and all of a sudden every black metal band is wearing corpse paint. You know, we had already done that. We had premiered it at a couple of small local shows in Newcastle. The logo, which people said was unreadable. You know, the mystery surrounding the band and all this kind of thing. And a lot of it was down to youthful arrogance, I suppose. You know, saying we are heavier than this band, we're louder than this band, we've got a bigger stage show than this. But, you know, back then, it was all good PR and it worked. And it worked in our favour. But I have to say that I think for Venom, I think the stars aligned and it just went bang. It was right place, right time. The world was ready for something different. And we came along.
It's good. I'm glad you guys did. So, being around for so long and seeing the sound of metal change every generation, what do you think about how that sound change affects the way you make music now?
It doesn't affect me at all.
I don't think it affects Venom or how he writes. So he's quite a prolific writer. He's constantly writing different things, different styles. But you know, I think it comes to a thing where there's a point where a musician, particularly a guitarist, you know, how many Yngwie Malmsteens are there? One Yngwie Malmsteen. How many Stevie Vais are there? One Stevie Vai. How many B.B. Kings were there? One B.B. King. How many guitarists are there? Billions. It's what makes that individual an individual. It's an extension of themselves and their playability. Music progresses, but I think there's a as the music became more extreme and became interesting, that he used the word, we looked at our forefathers and then we wanted to make that extreme. And what happened? Then they went out and wanted to make that extreme. And the progression goes. I think technically everybody's got developed into these particular styles, and 9-string guitars, 7-string guitars, and drop tunings, and it went all that way. And it's symphonic, and there's some amazing things. But there's very few bands that are individual. You know, you can see 50 black metal bands, for example, and one is Immortal. You know, you can see 100 thrash bands and one is Exodus. You know, and it's so there's always that individual. It's something that happens that makes that band individual. And I think that's the idea with musicians as well. A distinctive style. When he plays the songs, people know it's him. How? Because of his style, because of his sound. They know it's him. It sounds right. And that's where you have that. If you constantly chasing the development, then you're constantly changing who you are, and so you can't really. It's for young guys like yourself to listen to guys like this and go, I fucking love that sound, and do something else with it, and then you become individual. I took that sound, and this sound, and then I made this sound. It's exactly what Magnus was talking about his influences. You know, he took that and went, right, I want to do it my way, and by default he became him. You know what I mean? By not looking to just copy someone else, looking to just play and hopefully be as good as him. Maybe and became himself.
On the subject of on the guitar side of it, I've never aspired to be one of these virtuoso shredders. I've got absolutely no interest in being that at all. I've always said, if someone was to grant me one of two gifts, one was to be the greatest guitarist that the world had ever seen and will ever see, or to be the greatest songwriter, I would choose the songwriter straight away, because songs are what is immortal, if you like. Songs touch people physically, emotionally. They can take you back to a moment in time.
Yeah.
And what we've seen on nearly 60 shows throughout the United States now since January is playing songs which are like 35 years old or something, whatever they are, and the place goes crazy. I've seen grown men cry when we've kicked into like Live Like an Angel. The place went nuts last night when we played Poison. You know, and the Poison, if you want to analyse Poison, it's a blues and rock and roll song. It's as simple as that. So, you know, I always look at my guitar playing as a way to write a good song. I don't give a shit about being hailed as some amazing soloist. I really don't. I don't give a flying fuck about that. There's a million people out there who can do it a lot better than I can. And probably fucking 99.9% of them are still sitting in their bedrooms doing it.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I seen.
One
thing that I seen many years ago was a friend of mine who was a demonstrator for a guitar company, and that guy could shred, and I hate that word. He could play anything. He could play Malmsteen 5, fucking Satriani, anything. He was incredible. He played in a local band, in a covers band, but he was an amazing player. The company that he was working with had a new guitar, so they made a video of him demonstrating the guitar, and he ripped the shit out of this guitar. He fucking shredding all over the place. And then along the bottom of the video there came a little ticker tape, and it said, "Can also be used to play a song." And I thought, that's so fucking true.
And like we said before, you know, the thing is that right now the X-Men film's got only 2 metal tracks on it, Metallica, for Horseman and Candice Battery by Venom on the soundtrack. I mean, that's quite a big thing to start with, and it doesn't matter if we play it tonight in a first language speaking English speaking place, or we went to Mexico tomorrow and played it in Tampico, you know, not where they speak, you know, Spanish first, or in China where we've been, Beijing or Taipei or Japan or Russia or anywhere, you know, where we don't speak the language, because when we say it, when we play Candice Battery, everybody sings it. So it's like almost like the music transcends, you know, religion, politics, language. It's like that. And to go, you know, I've been into metal since I was, you know, you're into metal. We could go on the other side of the globe to a place we've never seen in the outback, play a show, and someone will come up and be just like, that's fucking amazing to know. We're everywhere, and they feel just as much as you feel, and they want to express themselves as much. That's the power of the music, especially in the metal community. It's like once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. It doesn't leave. You know, we were your age once, now we're this age. And Lemmy was 70 and just died. You know, was he still on stage playing? Was he still doing? Yeah, he was. Why? Because it doesn't leave your blood. It stays with you.
Can I quickly dive into there and grab some air?
Oh, yeah.
2 seconds.
Sorry.
That's all right.
When it comes to making music, writing music, what's your initial inclination? Is it money? You love it? Are you trying to satisfy your current fans? Or are you trying to gain new ones?
I don't think that's even not a concept, is it?
No,
It's energy because it's an expression we write to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, you want to.
You want people to like it.
You want people to like it. You want your fans to like it, but you don't. You set up to do a good song and to do a song which, when you finish it, you all look at each other and you kind of go, fucking hell. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You want, you know, you finish a song, you all look at each other. We do that every night. There's times we turn around, we look at each other, we finish a song, we look around at each other, and we're like, fuck, will we just do that again? Just do that song again. It's fucking great. But you've got to have a lot of hunger.
When I wrote black metal, I had no idea that was going to be such an iconic song. You know, writing Die Hard, writing fucking Countess Bathory, Welcome to Hell, Witching Hour.
They were just songs.
They were just songs that I came up with, and I mean, but the first song I ever wrote was Red Light Fever, and then stuff like Angel Dust came after it, and all I had at that point was a movable power chord in the first position of the pentatonic scale, and I just did the best with the tools that I had. And I think that's, rather than having knowledge of a million fucking scales and chord shapes and stuff like that, I think you've got to do your absolute best with what you're armed with.
You should never panic and think I'm not good enough. You should look at what you're good at and what you can maybe influence other people with, and use that to the best of your ability. Everybody's got something. Everybody can do something. It doesn't have to be anything exceptional. It's exceptional to other people, so share it about a little bit.
And I think it's indicative. You can't write a song thinking, I'm going to do this because we'll make a load of money off it. The songs that you write and go, this is the one they're going to fucking love.
They're the ones.
You play that and they go, that's alright. The one you sit in the toilet and go, I've got this riff.
Pretty
that's
much.
The one they go, oh, it's a fucking classic.
Every songwriter you speak to.
I wrote a classic and you didn't write a classic. The other one's a classic.
Every songwriter you speak to in any genre of music, fucking something like Mark Knopfler writes some incredibly, involved music. But the stuff which he's most known for and stuff he likes the best, the stuff which touches people the most is the thing that he throws out in 5 minutes.
The spontaneous stuff that just happens.
Well, that's one thing.
Will tell you that.
It's one thing I've always said. I mean, you got bands like Dream Theater and Opeth and stuff like that. Yeah, incredible technicians, amazing. They're very technical and all this kind of stuff. I still not going to make an audience move like fucking AC/DC do with Highway to Hell. Fucking 3 chords. There you go.
You know what I mean? You watch like 30, 40,000 people bouncing up and down to Hell's Bells or something, and you go, you can't help but be moved by it and sing along to it. And you go, people measure success in very different ways, and I think, but that is to be able to sing to an audience. We played some shows here where they are singing the chorus, we couldn't hear anything, just the voices. I mean, that's incredible to have that.
We're pretty fucking loud.
And we're
pretty loud.
Loud.
We don't stay away from fucking volume, and to have an audience that's louder than we can kick off the back line with a big fucking PA, that's pretty something.
Kind of impressive.
If I went back in that band and I was going to play something off their last album, I wouldn't be able to play it as good as their drummer can. So it's not about me. It's about just that's what is the nature of things. That's, when you're in the room writing that stuff and you feel part of it, there's a very special sort of synergy that didn't exist before the last couple of albums with that particular band and with those particular individuals. So you have to give yourself to it. The music you're playing all is an extension of you. And you can see on stage when you watch Kronos' band, you watch a different attitude come across the people, the band members, when they're playing songs that they've written. It's a whole different thing. When they start kicking the Countess Bathory, to be fair, maybe it's only my opinion, but they busk it. They just go through a song. It's like both of those guys are from tribute bands. They play in tribute bands, so they know how to do that. And what they do is they do that with Venom material. They busk the Venom material. And you can't blame them for that, but then when they kick into stuff that they've written and stuff that they know really well and play really well, it's great. It's a different band altogether.
If you can go back and do it all over again differently, would you?
I don't think so. I think I would be a bit more aware of the record company side of things and the management of the I think that would be something, but not with regard to the actual meeting the members of the band in the way we did and performing in the way we did and growing in the way we did. No, I don't think I'd want to do anything different. Not at all.
No comment.
All right. I think that the good, the bad, and the ugly led us to being at the Whiskey tonight with a sold-out show and having the response where we did 30 dates in America with the intention of recording and then doing some festivals in Europe. And before we knew it, we were back on a plane coming to do 30 more dates in America, and that speaks volumes. So all of everything that went before leads to this moment. So would you go back and change it? Maybe it would lead to a different moment. Maybe, you know, if we'd gone back and changed anything, Mantis would be, you know, we'd have a chicken farm in Portugal, we'd be quite happy. Abaddon would be doing his thing, we'd be quite happy, and I'd be doing my thing, we'd be quite happy, and we wouldn't be sitting here about to play the whiskey, you know. So we appreciate everything in a very humble way, you know, and without ego, and as honestly as we can. And so I think that without all of that happening, good and bad, we don't have this. So, you know, I don't think, personally, I wouldn't want it all changed, because it leads to this moment.
So where do you guys, as a band, where do you guys see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see Tony down the end of the bus, Jeff there. On the next 5 years, because when you see yourself in the next 5 years, I say, well, Tony down the end of the bus,
I think it's up there,
Jeff sitting there. Hard to say, you know. The thing is, the idea was, there was no plan. We did a show just because we were asked to by a promoter in Germany, and we made it happen. He said, just play like 5 or 6 songs with 2,000 people there. We played 5 songs, didn't rehearse, we just picked 5 songs. We all flew in, we met each other for the first time in 100 years, went on stage and played, and the place went nuts. And afterwards the phone went freaking crazy. We were good for South America, everybody asked could we go to China, Japan type. It was like, and then the European tour, and all you're doing in Arm, it was like, fuck. So we had to sit down and go, what should we do? Because we didn't plan that. And we went, well, if they want us to play, let's just go and play. We love playing. And that's all we've done.
But to be fair, that's exactly what happened the first time around with this band, was shit happened to us while we were making other plans. So that's what tends to happen with this band. You know, we get on with it, stuff happens, and we go with the flow, basically.
Yeah.
We don't sit around a corporate table. We're not Bon Jovi. We don't sit around and say, okay, this is what's mapped out for X, Y, Z. And there are things which happen within that, because some of the planning could maybe be better, some of the thought process could go beforehand or whatever. But in general, we're doing exactly what we did last time. It seems to be working. Seems to work okay last time. It's working this time.
Bearing in mind that this is a project band, or whatever you want to call it, that we don't have a label. We didn't have management. It was just the 3 of us.
Which we basically didn't have last time.
Yeah, just
last time we went out and we booked the Hammersmith Odeon and played at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. 4,000 odd people, and it sold out, and we didn't have a record label, and we didn't have a booking agent.
And even the industry was looking at it going, you can't do that. I mean, they're doing the same thing now. Now we've got offers and people want us to do live albums and all sorts of things, and we get things daily, you know, for stuff, and it's like, right, we're not propagating that by trying to get people interested, we're just playing shows for fans, and that's what's driving the whole thing. It's the combination between us and you. That's it. That's the purity of it. And if we got a load of offers and we picked one, and maybe there'd have to be some kind of planning, but while there's not, but we know we can go and play shows, and we know fans want to see us just keep playing, that's what we're doing. It's like every day we wake up is another show. 60 shows we've had, out of all 60 shows we've had 4 travel days and two days off out of 60 shows. You know, I mean, it's show. And that's the demand. So, you know, we're just feeding what we're being asked to do and enjoying it, you know. And this far into a career, to have that emotional connection with the music and the people and the fans, and to be able to have the opportunity to give even more is fantastic. You know, we could come and play a festival and go away, fly in, go to the hotel, meet a few people at a meet and greet and fuck off, sign a couple of things. Or we can play the whiskey. Now, this is the intention. I'll get dressed for show, I'll take my bass out of there, and I'll walk across the road, straight in the venue, and straight up on stage. That's what I will do tonight. Why? Why not? Who's done that? I don't know, but I don't care. I'm doing that. You know, because I want to, when I do those things, I'm showing the audience that I'm one of you. I'm one of you. and that's my personal thing. So I am you. I'm a fan. If I walk through the audience to get up on stage to play with these guys, that showed my respect to them, my respect to the material, my respect to the audience. I'm lucky enough to take the bass with me and get to sing the songs. But I bet there's like 100 people in the audience went, fuck, I wish I could give it a go. Do you know what I mean? So I just want them to feel at one with the whole thing. And so, that's important, I think. That's important.
This one's more of a personal question. I'll take over. Do you think I can use your restroom?
Absolutely. Just go down there. It's on your left, just before the door.
Sorry. All right.
You're on the spot now.
Yeah.
You're
Now
on
it's
the
my
spot.
turn.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What are some of your thoughts on today's current events? Opinion on it.
We were shocked, and I made a statement about Orlando because those people were shot, and then the young girl singer was shot in the head. There's a whole terrorist thing going on all over the globe. The shooting, the death metal show in Paris,
in France.
I mean, we played so many shows. The idea, and we played that many. The idea of being at a show with all the smiling faces and someone eloping up with a submachine gun.
Yeah.
I don't have a concept of that. We are in a political strife, especially in America. Hillary, Donald, the whole thing's all going. But what's going to happen? It could be a mess. Yesterday, there was a vote in the UK to either stay in or come out of Europe. I don't know the results yet. But what's the meaning if we stay in, or what's the meaning if we come out of Europe and segregate ourselves? It's like, the whole world seems upside down. And we have to focus on making sure the young people, the old fans, absolutely, but the young people understand that there's something we can do. We can try and make it better through our music, through our respect for them, through hopefully we inspire them. If they come and see the show and they watch Madness doing his thing, one guy might go out and go, fuck, that's it. I'm going to do that, and he will be the next whoever. And if we can do that and inspire people to go, there's more to it than just the shit we watch every day, then hopefully that's good, because you turn the news channel on and it's just like bang, bang, bang. Some shit happening everywhere, people getting shot for all sorts of heinous reasons,
Yeah.
When I did an interview the other day with the Orlando Herald, and I said, I'm sitting outside a Walmart outside of Santa Cruz. I said, I'm watching a load of people going in and coming out, and they're all smiling and chatting. It's Sunday and it's sunny. I said, imagine I just walked in now and stood in the foyer with a load of Semtex and just ignored myself. For what? Because I disagree with something. All these innocent people on a Sunday getting picked up things to barbecue or whatever. What did they do? What have they done? Some may agree with my beliefs, some may not agree with my beliefs, but certainly they have the right to disagree or agree. And I think anybody who goes, we'll tell them what to fucking do, we'll do this and we'll do that, you're a despot. That's how you end up with a Hitler or a Stalin or somebody like that. When you want to dictate to everybody who doesn't agree with you that you should agree with them. And that's wrong. I think that's fundamentally wrong. You can't get more American than a burger, can you? A hamburger, like from Hamburg in Germany, but it's synonymous with America. And then 10 minutes later, there's a Mexican guy with his radio on and he's playing all the mariachi stuff. That's what's great about America. That's not bad. That's great. We go to South Central and they're all rapping with their bling on and all that. Fucking hell. But that's the other side. That's what's brilliant. You could drive another hour and you're up in the Hollywood Hills. We're on Sunset Boulevard. It's
diversity.
It's the diversity that should be embraced. That's why the vote yesterday to stay in Europe. I hope we stay in because I want to make the world smaller, not bigger. I don't want to put fences. I want to take the fences down. Right now there's a debate on whether you should put a fence up, possibly for Canada, but certainly for Mexico. Fucking hell, it took us all that time, and Ronald Reagan was the inceptional guy who told Gorbachev to take the fucking wall down. He took a wall down to open up Europe, and now you want to put a wall up to get rid of Mexico. It's like, are you nuts? We've just spent all that time taking it down. It's like, I know there's a problem with drugs, and I know there's all of that, but I don't agree with anybody doing that. It's a crime and should be punished as a crime. but ostracizing a whole nation or blocking yourself in, because put a fence up with Canada, put a blockade up with Mexico, and then don't deal with China, because if you're trying to do 12% or 20%, they'll just go, okay, fuck off then, and so they won't do it. Then what? Then how big's America? It was this big, and now it's just this big. You're just going to sit there and go, well, we don't care, we won't listen to anybody, we'll just be in America. Like, you know, why? You know, it's a bountiful place, it's an amazing country, with amazing people, and everybody should have the right to move around and visit it, doing the right things, of course, with the right applications, and the right, following the laws of everybody's country. So I understand that, but it's only the youth that can change it. Only the youth that can change it.
When it comes to touring, what are some of the things that you guys look forward to when you guys tour?
For me, personally, just getting on stage and performing. That's it. I've always said that I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with touring. I hate hanging around in airports, taking countless flights and all the travelling and stuff like that, but the pinnacle for it, I mean, you know, you live for that 1.5 hours on stage, you know, to actually perform your music, and that is a very privileged position to be in as well. I've had so many people saying, oh, thank you for coming to play my club, or thank you for turning up here, you know. It's, you know, it's us that should be thanking them. We should be thanking the audience for coming to see us, for supporting us, and I always say that before we play a certain song.
It's like a party every fucking day, you know. It's like, where else can you go and be in business or being at a party?
And we're the hosts, you know, we're the hosts of the party, and we have the greatest time on stage, and I hope everybody in the audience has the greatest time as well. And that's it for me. That's what it's all about. It's getting on that stage and presenting the music.
So, what's your favorite country to play in?
I think we'd probably both say Japan.
It's my favourite country to visit, definitely Japan.
Having said that, some of the Eastern Bloc countries, sort of like you know, Russia and Poland, Czechoslovakia, some of the fans are so extreme. It's almost a throwback to what Germany used to be in the 80s. The Americans change state by state. You can go to one place and think that the place has got a big name and it's a big city and, you know, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of people turn out, and then kind of start to watch you a little bit. And then you go to somewhere where you're expecting a pretty small turnout, and when the people get there, they just lose their shit. Wait, you know, go crazy. Americans kind of have this thing, I guess, where maybe the bigger cities are spoiled a little bit. So many bands go there. When you go a little bit off the map, a little bit off the beaten map, people kind of appreciate that, you know. So, I mean, it's a big world, you know. There's a load of great places to play, and a lot of places are opening up. We're just talking about going to India, first to Bangalore and places like this, Mumbai, and that's a sort of a good way, I think, to see what's the new place that's opened up, is have a look at what Iron Maiden are doing.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
They're probably going to be breaking some new ground, some shit somewhere.
Well, you know, you talked about I don't know if you're going to come to this, but you talked about the whole idea of the satanic and all of that sort of thing, the ideas for it. But we've been invited to go to Turkey, the festival in Turkey, you know, India, and we've played the Bible Belt, we played Muslim, we played in Kazan, which is a Muslim city on the Mongolian steppes, you know, and we played, you know, Catholic places, you know, lots of religious places. We've been invited to go and play in Israel. Now, those people who invited us don't give a fuck about the religious connotations. They just care about the music, because the music's speaking to them. For whatever, you know, you're going, oh fucking hell, man's on my back, couldn't give a fuck. You're not yourself in the bedroom and you play Slayer or something, because it gives you that release, you know, or Iron Maiden or Joan Jett and the Black Horse or Creedence, you know, it doesn't matter. Your old man did the same thing to his old man did the same thing to his old man. It's like, fucking, I'm up my own time. And music, you know, gives you that. And so again transcends any of that religious bollocks. When we can take Satanism into a Muslim country or a Catholic, an Orthodox like Russia, which is Orthodox Catholic, and play songs and have everybody lose their mind, but smiling. They don't go out shooting fucking people. They're all in there smiling. They're all dressed in black with all their studs and everything, but they don't go out and fucking fight with everybody. They all go home with big smiles on their face. You know, it's not our culture and our music that's the problem. You know, it's the salvation, and that's what the key is. You know, and it doesn't matter if someone in a suit says it's bad. It isn't for you. Do you know what I mean? Having an album with a pentagram on the front might shit them up, and the lyrics might think, what the fuck's wrong with you? But for you, it's a salvation. It's your way of escaping, your way of relating to something, and your way of going, I mean something, and I'm part of that family. Whatever else happens, I'm part of that. And that's the idea, you know, is to make you feel you're not alone. Look around you, you know. We're all in it together. It's one fight. We're all fighting.
When it comes to signatures, have you guys ever signed tits and ass before?
Yes.
Simple answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
with the girls, you get them signed, but with the guys, every time they sign guys, they go and get them tattooed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, straight away. The next day, you know, and then they show pictures, go look, yeah. They go tattoo it straight away, which is mental.
Wow. All right, last question, guys. If you could tell your 5-year-old self something, what would you say?
Don't do it.
Don't blow your pants. Don't blow your pants. Use the
I would tell them exactly what I told my daughter, and that is, go for every opportunity that presents itself. There's no such thing as failure. It's just the universe's way of saying that's not the way to do it, so try something different. Perseverance, determination, commitment, no fear.
honesty.
That's what's going to get you there.
Honesty.
Yeah. And if you're going to go into the music industry, be prepared to have a lot of doors slammed in your face. Get used to the word no.
Yeah.
And then just carry on. To give it no option but to have it. You're only on this planet once. Make the most of it.
I think I would leave me 5-year-old self a copy of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it would say on it, "Don't panic."
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Really good questions. Lads.
Thank you. I loved asking them. I loved your answers.
Really fresh and really interesting.
You've got to understand, we get pretty jaded. You know, there's a lot of people come on the same question. That was very cool.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. When you both came around the corner of the skateboards, I thought, hello, this is going to be interesting. It was brilliant. You actually thought about the whole thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great. Absolutely great. Brilliant.
Thank
Pleasure to meet you guys.
Thank you, Tony.
You're very, very welcome. Extreme closer.
Look at you. Look at the shape of your hair. Look at your ears. And right into your ears. Lovely big ear. Look at that. You could hear what
Fantasia. Fantasia. Fantasia.